stopping and going and falling over. If you have a ball, then you add that too, jumping. They don't have the whole bunch of vocabulary, but they're as long as they've been people, certain things, games, singing, moving, rituals, they're part of the cultural intelligence. And they come through if you just give them a little space. And so sometimes a whole story happens. The entire group of 6 people enact a story that they hadn't planned on. But somehow, as soon as one person moves in, somehow the others remember what the story is, and then they go into that position. I have no idea why or how these things happen, but it's all noticeable when we pay a little bit of attention to this kind of social body. Thank you. Yeah.
Our group was all about the hands, so it was interesting what you said. Yeah.
So tell me what happened with the hands.
Well, 2 things. Here's about the hands and about the ground. And so there's a lot of this, the sound is also really big for us.
Yeah.
We have the same thing over here.
You had hand dance? Yeah.
And the hens seem to be taking over towards the end.
Yeah.
So they were putting the ball in the pot.
Yeah.
So somehow the lead was in the hen.
And I think another thing we talked about is, that I think has implications for our work, how the parts simultaneously and spontaneously move. It's not like we looked at someone else and said, oh, I'm going to do that. It's like they do it together simultaneously after a while.
Yeah.
There's a word for it, a big scientific word. The parts create the whole
Because there's a love.
simultaneously.
Yeah.
Say
So
again.
the parts all kind of, they intuitively kind of fit and move.
Intuitively, right?
Yeah.
Simultaneously,
Yeah.
intuitively move.
If you take this as your system, right, or the planet system, it's an amazing system, right? The liver does this, and the kidneys do that, and the heart does this, and they don't like have a problem with their job description. They don't suddenly say, hey, I'd rather, actually, I think I should do this. And for the most part, it works pretty well. It works. Even if some part breaks down, oftentimes the other ones pitch in and help out. So it's not a stupid system, And so social systems, one wonders, But this sense that the parts kind of know where they fit in and when to move ahead and when to follow and when to lead and when to be still and when to jump up and down, that kind of knowing is in any social system. I'm convinced of it. It's just that it's like the 20-minute dance, or the thing we did in the beginning, a shortened version. It's just, I've done this for 47 years. I've never seen a person deliberately try to make a pathological situation for themselves. People don't do that. They don't make choices, given they have 20 minutes to do whatever they want. They don't try to make themselves miserable. It's just, some people are more self-conscious than others and whatever, okay, they like themselves or they don't, whatever. But nonetheless, more or less, people try to go towards what is a little more open, a little bit more relaxed, a little clearer, just naturally. So social bodies, I think, are the same way, that they want to go toward what is healthy, what is sane, what is heartfelt, what is the best of humanness. So it seems like it's our job to figure out how you would just notice that, for one thing, and then, what little bit of time and space people would need to go in that direction, something like that. So these are little experiments of how one could try to do that and not get caught in, this is the goal, and and not get on talking. We have so many habits around here, that it's difficult to, as I often say, most of you don't have a skill base to really lie in this kind of work. You don't know how to do it. So we get, what you see is what you get usually in this kind of work, and there's a lot of power in it. Yeah.
In our group, we were playing more with dissymmetry and symmetry and being separate and being
If you could just speak a little louder.
being separate and being countercultural within. So it's just to me striking, given what you're saying, that this was a place to experiment actively with the other side, not just the unity and following and all one, but also with breaking the pattern and being apart.
Oh, I didn't mean to imply that it's
Oh, I know
healthy
you're
to
not.
be
I know.
unison.
No,
I
no.
mean, it is if you're in the military or the raw cats or something like that. That's only one model, right? So it's just what kind of space could hold that kind of diversity or individuality, or like a jazz group, depending on how solid, right, the base is how far out the horn player can go. And those extremes are important, because if there's no bottom, then there's nobody that's just like completely out there. There has to be a whole, space, that big space that holds everything, whatever anybody has to offer.
I was wondering, so one observation was that there was more and more synchronization of movements over time, so there was more and more alignment.
Synchronization means you're actually imitating or repeating something that someone else offers?
No, rather than at the beginning, everyone, although we realized we weren't looking at each other, was more still within their own, and after a while we were more torn, by whatever it was, into some kind of related movements, but not imitating movements.
Okay.
So there were sort of constellations that just emerged that were related, but not just and I was wondering, and it's probably a big question where that action comes from.